Hello guys. Now, this video is going to be getting boring. I can tell. Because in my first video back, I mentioned her. And there's going to be a third video. A second one just about her. With two videos just about her. And that's just this year. Usually I don't direct videos at people. But I feel like this is definitely one that needs to be talked about. On the 12th of December, I will be making a video about it being a year since my deceased ex-girlfriend, and she's purely my ex because she deceased. I reckon if she didn't die, we'd still be together. And that's strong coming from me. Because I cannot seem to stay with somebody. Whether that's because they don't like my flaws, or whatever, or purely if they just mentally or emotionally abuse me. If that person's watching, they know who they are. Anyway, today is the 25th of November 2025. It has officially been a year since I met Denny. And allow me to give you a bit more of an insight. I used to have an app on my phone called Perp, right? Perp, if you don't know, is an app where it's like a child-friendly Tinder, but making friends and not trying to hook up with people. Perp is a good app to try and make friends. You can find them in your country or you can find them globally. On the off chance that you will find someone local to you. But I just so happened to have scrolled upon this girl, right? I can't remember what it was, but she had a stage name because there was a lot of weirdos on the app. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think her stage name. It was something bizarre. And you'd never have expected it to be nothing like her real name. Like, I was on the phone to her that same night and I called her that name and she's like, you know that's not my real name, don't you? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. But then she explained to me that her name was Cadence, but she has a nickname Denny. So I'm like, okay, do you want me to call you that? And she goes, yeah. So I'm like, right, cool. And that's always stuck. I've never called her Cadence to her face. I've never called her that at all. Not once have I ever called her that. Not when she was alive, not while she's been dead. Not once have I ever called her that name. It's always been Denny or Sweetheart whenever I've been talking to her. And we were talking on the 25th. And I think it was the 27th or the 28th that she wasn't responding when she finished school. And her friend Daisy had messaged me saying that Denny had been hit by a car. So at this point I'd only known her a couple of days. I think it was maybe like the 27th or the 28th I found this out. And obviously then I was spamming her phone out trying to figure out if she was okay. And she responded a few hours later saying, yeah, I'm good. A little bit sore, and I'm en route to the hospital right now. For a checkup because they feel like I've broken something. But other than that, I'm okay. So that made me feel a little bit better, hearing from her that she was okay. So she was in hospital, and I messaged her the day after, checking up on her. And she'd mentioned that she probably had to stay in hospital for a while. And I asked her if she knew how long, and she goes, no. They said I'd be lucky if I leave. So immediately I was already a little bit worried. Hearing from her that she might not leave the hospital definitely raised a little bit of panic in my system for a while. So at that point I just kind of left her for a week. Because with her being in hospital, obviously me worrying, I didn't want to stress her out or anything like that. So I figured I'd leave her alone. You know, if she wanted to talk, she would have done. And there was nothing for about a week, so I thought, has she forgotten about me? Does she not have a phone? And then I received a message that same day. This was, I want to say the 6th of December. I want to say it was about the 6th or the 7th of November. Maybe December, or maybe even the 5th. But obviously she messaged me. I was asking how she was. I was really happy. You know, I finally got to speak to her. Obviously after like a week of worrying, not knowing how she was. It's not even like I could go see her either, because she lived down south. She lived in London. So there was no chance I was able to go see her at any point. There wasn't any way for me to save up the amount of money that I'd have needed to get down there and to get home again within the time frame that I had. So we're talking, you know, just doing what we do, just being ourselves, and then it started to go very much downhill. I'm talking very badly downhill. Saying that she had maybe a week or two, and then not even a week after, saying maybe she had like a couple of days, to it then being lucky if she survived the night. So I made sure that we both made the most of it. You know, we both spoke as much as we physically could. She slept most of the day, nearly every day. Obviously, I had school, so I couldn't really message her much. We didn't really talk until like the late evenings. But we still made sure we could talk whenever we could. So, initially, I was worrying constantly. I'd got through 3 nights, no sleep, constant tears. I was a mess for those 3 days. And then, obviously, then the news comes in that when she sent me the message saying that she'd been lucky if she survived the night, and then saying how grateful she was to have me there when she needed me, because nobody else other than me and her mother had spoken to her since she'd gone in. And she was happy, you know. Obviously, I know I'd only known her like maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 days before she'd gone into the hospital and had the accident. But I asked her to be my girlfriend the day before, and she said yes. I remember the day we met, she was talking to me about how she wanted to find somebody who could be her guy, based off of her interests, and obviously in case they had mutual interests, and I did. Perfect match. We were honestly the perfect match for each other, right? I'd come to figure out. And then, obviously, I'd asked her the day we'd met, which was foolish of me, if she wanted to be my girlfriend, and said that she'd not long been out of like a 2-year relationship, where she was emotionally abused. So I said I apologised for things that she'd been through, apologised for asking so soon, even though it was only a couple of days afterwards that we'd gotten together. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That 16 days that I knew her. Wait, so 25th to to the 30th have been 5 days. And then 18 days I knew her. And honestly, even though I knew her for just a short amount of time, that 18 days has probably been one of the happiest sets of days I've ever gone through. That 18 days where I spoke to her whenever I could and just overall contacted as much as we both could. And we were like that whenever we were talking. We were like this all of the time. We were inseparable over text. Her friends kept telling her to get off the phone. She didn't want to. She was texting me. People kept telling me to get off the phone. I didn't want to. I was texting her. But the thing is, it's going to sound selfish. And I'm going to sound like a dick. But it's kind of the truth as well, because nobody else knew her. I don't think anybody understands how much it's affected me over the past year. It's gotten really difficult to the point where I can't even begin to fathom how it's already been a year since we met. Honestly, I do not understand it. It's really difficult. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. All I will say is look after the people you have, because one day you won't have them anymore. Keep that in mind.